And Métis, non-status, and Cherokee heritage, Chalagi heritage unenrolled. Comrades and friends, we meet on stolen Lenni Lenape land. The history of this country is founded on lies meant to erase indigenous nations and cultures. A great heritage has been stolen, commodified, and sold to the whole capitalist world, from tobacco to tomatoes to the fringe on your leather jackets. Chocolate, chili, potatoes, over half the entire world's foods by volume and species. Sunglasses, the majority of the original medicinal pharmacopoeia of this country, the first apartment buildings in the world, the matrilineal society of the Haudenosaunee nations that inspired the original feminists in upstate New York. The concept of living in harmony with the biosphere from which we are not separate inspired environmental movements. All of this is part of the heritage of indigenous nations and peoples of this hemisphere and their contributions to the whole world culture. Every communist fighting capitalist lies has a duty and should raise awareness in our class that Native Americans are not dead and gone. We live amongst you. Despite genocide, constant warfare, and smallpox, from coast to coast, Native people live in urban areas and small towns and on reservations. Now, as communists, we discuss smashing white supremacy as part of our political work. In the Native community, Native people discuss Native erasure and decolonization. The term Native erasure, which is very common in use now, means the constant leaving out of Native people from daily discourse, from the mass media to the educational system. Our vast heritage to the world is made to appear to come from anywhere but Native peoples. Native people might be referred to when there's a hot struggle like Standing Rock. When political struggles are raised and connected, if it's broadcast anywhere in the media, there are Native people listening, and they do immediately note if they're left out. Every time we speak and raise all the struggles to connect the fight against imperialist war with fights against racism at home, mention Native people, keep indigenous nations on the front burner with all the other struggles. One way to do this is to simply recognize whose land one stands on of any event. Another 30 seconds, Betsy, thank you. The leadership of oppressed communities understand we need solidarity. I want to note that Black Lives Matter of Chicago kept a constant presence at Standing Rock throughout the encampments. Right now, several of the water protectors' trials are going forward, and they need movement support and our attention. Let's give a special shout out today to the Ramapo Nation a few miles north of here in New Jersey. And they're fighting Native erasure, resource extraction, and racism every day of their lives. Water is life, end Native erasure, and smash white supremacy.